Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to give November a big market wrap. We're going to go over singles that moved, sealed product that moved, what news got released, and I guess to summarize the whole of November when it comes to Pokemon card investing is just that it went from strength to strength. November was a massive month and, for singles sealed, it just shows no sign of slowing down the machine that is the Pokemon card world at the moment. It's a massive IP. The trading card game is a massive IP, and from an investing standpoint, as an alt investment and a fun investment, it just shows no sign of slowing down. So that's what today's video is all about. Before we jump into today's video though, I just wanted to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Pokeynotify. This is a Discord. It is easy to sign up. I'll leave all the details in the description of this video. If you use the code PokeyOz_25, you'll get 25% off. I think it's $7.99 a month if you want to join. And the whole idea behind this Discord, hence the words Pokeynotify, is that it'll notify you as product drops. Whether you're in North America, so the US or Canada, Europe, Australia, etc., it'll let you know when the major retailers have products come online. Like, it's set up to let you know. We all know how difficult it is to gain product at the moment. So this is a really good Discord. There's a great community aspect to the Discord as well, where you can talk to people and see what sort of product you can set up. So I'll leave everything in the description for the video for Pokeynotify. Do yourself a favor and join up. Anyway, on to the video at hand. November, like I said, a massive month, and it just went from strength to strength. And I want to start off with some singles. And first and foremost, Surging Sparks Pikachu. Now, we all know this is although there's some cards nipping at its heels at the moment, but this is the most expensive single chase card from the whole Scarlet and Violet era, Surging Sparks Pikachu. And look, there's no surprise there. I made a video about Surging Sparks like a month before it launched, just talking about what I think will be the top chase cards, and I had Pikachu at number one. I think everyone did. There's no surprise. It's a rainbow bordered Pikachu. It's a special illustration rare Pikachu. It's the mascot of the whole TCG, and it seems to have gained a bit of a equilibrium. So the price, of course, was just like rising and rising, and we seem to be sitting just under that $500 raw price. So just under 500, so sitting about 488 as its current TCG player market price. A couple more from Surging Sparks before I get onto a few other singles. There's a couple making some moves, surprisingly, and it's so rare, and that's what's so interesting about Surging Sparks, and almost baffling to a degree, because what typically happens when a set comes out is we see singles prices sit up here because, there's not much supply in the market. The first week or two of a set launching, we see not much supply, and therefore people are listing singles at a really high price because, well, you can either chase for the card yourself by opening over 1,000 packs, or you can buy it online on TCG Player or eBay or another purchasing site to get it yourself, but you're going to have to pay a premium to be one of the first people to get it. So that's what generally happens. Singles come out of the gate hot, and over time they generally dip down in price. It's a general rule of thumb, but Surging Sparks, some of the cards in there are doing the complete opposite. And one of them is the Latias. This has taken a recent rise towards the end of November and the start of December. It's up to $252 raw. And another one, and this is probably one of the most surprising, although it's a beautiful looking special illustration rare, is the Milotic from Surging Sparks. This has overtaken Hydreigon. It's overtaken, I think, it's nipping at the heels, or maybe just overtaken Gold Pikachu. It's at $166 raw at the moment. And, with Gold Pikachu thrown in the mix, Hydreigon thrown into the mix, that's a fair few cards that are worth well north of $100. And a fun fact, I guess, about Surging Sparks while we're talking about it, it has, based on pull rates and, the data that someone like Danny Phantom in the hobby does, and he does great work, or, the data that TCG player supplies regarding, opening 8 or 10,000 packs, Surging Sparks has the highest return in terms of expected value that you can pull from a booster box. So if you want to have some fun opening a box, I think Surging Sparks is right up there. A couple other singles, Paldea Evolved Magikarp. It's $189 raw now. And there was a couple of sales in PSA 10 over $1,000, I think. I think there was a couple of, $1,100, $1,200 in PSA 10. This shows no signs of slowing down. And I've got this in the news part of this market cap or recap for November about, Paldea Evolve small reprints, but it seems though that, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing quite an uptick or a small uptick in Paldea Evolve booster box prices, particularly with this card on the move. Tyranitar has shown a little bit of growth recently. But one card in particular, and this is the final single I want to talk about, one card that's shown massive growth, like astronomical growth, is Paldean Fate's Mew. Has anyone seen that lately? It's over $300 raw now. Where did that come from? And why did that happen? And how did that happen so quickly? I think it's been a long time since we've seen a card make such a gain. I remember this card was like, wasn't it 4 months ago this card was like $80? How's it gone from $80 to $300 in a third of a year? So 4 months. That's phenomenal growth. And I've said all along when it comes to singles, it's so volatile. You can make insane gains. Like a booster box isn't going to go from $80 to $300 in 4 months. So realistically, it's not going to happen. But singles can. Singles can, on the rare occasion, show that sort of growth. And Bubble Mew, whether it's because it's got that code name now, like that Bubble Mew, whether because there's some community sentiment towards it, whether there was buyouts, I don't know. But either way, north of $300 raw is crazy. Moving on to some sealed products. Now, there's been a couple of people that pumped this set up from the start. Not pumped it up as in trying to pump the price up, but just pumped it up to say how nice a Pokemon card set it is. And that is Fusion Strike. The booster box has moved up again in November, and it's now $285 raw. So it's nudging $300 a booster box at the moment. Fusion Strike's a phenomenal Pokemon set, and I said in my last video that I think Fusion Strike over time will be the second most expensive booster box sealed for the whole Sword and Shield era. I think it'll be Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin. I could be wrong with Lost Origin and Fusion Strike, but I don't think I will be. I think it's a really, really nice looking booster box from a collection point of view, as in it's got some color to it, it's got Mew on it, we've got the Gengar in there, we've got the Espeon, there's two beautiful Mews, there's a very underrated Celebi old art. It's a Ghost Psychic set, and they typically perform really, really strong. I just see Fusion Strike going from strength to strength, and once again, it's shown its strength in the month of November. Surging Sparks booster box is another one that's now gone over $200. So it's $210 at the moment. And realistically, doesn't really show any signs of slowing down. And what you've got to remember is we're not going to see another booster box until March 2025, another booster box set. And we're only just scratching the surface of December. Like it's going to be January, February, like it's going to be another 3 months of the only booster box, if you want to open one, is going to be Surging Sparks. So don't be surprised if this booster box shows even more growth, even more than maybe what you're expecting. Maybe it gets to $300 a booster box before we know it. Not saying that's going to happen, but based on the demand for that set, the chase cards inside it, the fact we're not going to see another booster box set for at least 3 months, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised one bit. And one more sealed product I wanted to give a shout out to is the 151 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box. 151 is another sealed product that's been going from strength to strength. I think the whole Scarlet and Violet era is starting to go from strength to strength. There's maybe only so much money that can come into the hobby, and maybe a lot of it was getting used towards Sword and Shield products, so Sword and Shield booster boxes, and now a lot of those have been ripped and they're getting scarcer and scarcer. So I think a lot of people's money is shifting towards Scarlet and Violet era sealed products. The collectors are really focusing and honing in on Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, particularly now that Scarlet and Violet era gets that stamp promo. Some of those stamp promos raw are worth really, really good money, like the Snorlax and the 151 Pokemon Center ETB, and also worth really good money if they happen to grade a PSA 10. We all know how hard it is to grade a card, even from a main set of Scarlet and Violet, let alone inside a collection box or Elite Trainer box where, there's more moving parts and it could get damaged or nicked. There's a lot of value being put into Scarlet and Violet at the moment, in particular Pokemon Center 1 Elite Trainer boxes and booster boxes. Moving on to some news for November. We saw a few things come up, didn't we? And I think this one took everyone by surprise, and that is that there's going to be a Pokemon 156. So the Unova region, Gen 5, is going to see a set, whether it's a holiday-based set like 151, whether it's a main-based set with booster boxes. How sick would a booster box be with some of the legendaries on it and just like the black and white look, like just a basic black and white looked, you know, with Zekrom or whatever it might be on there, and just, you know, a good looking Reshiram and Zekrom or something on there, a good looking black and white based booster box. I think that would be incredibly fun to open. Some other news we've had, of course, you know, Prismatic Evolutions just keeps on getting bought and bought and bought, and it's pretty much, it's hard to get. Like, try and find somewhere at the moment, down here in Australia in particular, where you can sort of pre-order it from. Some other news that come along with Prismatic Evolutions, we got the design for the Master Ball and the Pokeball reverse holo. We still don't know exact numbers. We've been told 1 per booster box with Terrestrial Festival in Japanese, so the Japanese version of Prismatic Evolutions. We've had some more special illustration rares released, like the Roaring Moon looks absolutely incredible. The Umbreon, we got some high resolution pictures. The Umbreon looks absolutely incredible. We don't know pull rates yet. They're going to be really interesting to find out. And finally, I said in some other news, I'll get to it, but we'll talk about reprints. So we've had now small reprints of Obsidian Flames and Paldea Evolved. So if you remember back about not 18 months ago, it's probably about 12 months ago, yeah, maybe October last year, so 14 months ago, we had a reprint for Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, and Scarlet and Violet 1, so Scarlet and Violet base. And it was sort of no surprise that if we were to get some sort of reprint when it comes to booster boxes around this holiday period, that it would be, you know, Scarlet and Violet 2 and 3 in Paldea Evolved and Obsidian Flames. Of course, the next booster box cabs off the ranks are Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Twilight Masquerade, and then Stellar Crown. You know, will we see some booster box reprints for them towards the end of the holiday season? Maybe a Paradox or a Temporal reprint. Will we wait until, you know, maybe October, November next year to see, you know, small reprints of Paradox, Temporal, Twilight, and Stellar? Don't know. Will every single Scarlet and Violet set get a reprint? Also don't know. Will some of them miss a reprint? I've said all along, I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 does, especially with the attention being sent towards, of course, Prismatic Evolutions, Team Rocket set, you know, black and white, 156 set. And I suppose what you've got to remember is, you know, these reprints don't seem to be massive. They seem to have got it right now. You know, if we remember back to Sword and Shield era, if you were in the hobby or you weren't in the hobby, but if you remember back to then, you know, Sword and Shield 3 and 4 in Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage just got such massive reprints that it just absolutely killed the product on the secondary market. Like, it was just too much. And it was maybe hard to juggle because there was, you know, supply issues, there was stimulus money, there was people at home, there was just this weird amount of demand that maybe was hard to judge. I know in the car industry, the automotive industry, we found it hard to judge when it comes to supply and demand. So I think maybe now they've got on top of it. And, you know, I think these small reprints we've seen of Obsidian Flames and Paldea Evolved, you know, I don't think they're going to affect the market as much as, you know, those big reprints we saw from Sword and Shield era for sets like Darkness and Vivid Voltage, where they just got absolutely squashed and remained squashed for a long period of time. I think Obsidian and Paldea, you know, whether these reprints will retrace, you know, booster box prices by 10%, whether it'll flatline them for the next 6 months before, you know, that supply really starts to dry up and people then think, hold on, you know, Obsidian Paldea in 6 months' time is now 2 years old. The chances of this ever getting reprinted again are next to nothing, and then we start seeing the uptick in prices. But hey, speaking about other cards that have made a move, Ninetales from Obsidian Flames has also been making a move. That card, you know, I think it's starting to get maybe a little bit of the love that it deserves. And I've said for a long time, there's a lot of underrated illustration rares, really nice looking illustration rares from the whole Scarlet and Violet era. I felt there was a lot of cards undervalued. Bubble Mew was one. I think I did a video maybe 2 months ago about undervalued special illustration rares, and that was well and truly at the top of the list. I think it, you know, it could do with some more movement and some more love, and it's now got it. Anyway, that's November in a nutshell. I'm Michael, this is Pokeoz, and I'll catch everyone next time.